First contact and defiance. The vast emptiness of space stretched before Captain Maya Chen as she stood on the bridge of the ESS Horizon, Earth's most advanced patrol vessel. Her dark eyes reflected the holographic displays that surrounded her command station, data streams flowing with information from the ship's sophisticated sensor array. The Horizon was conducting a routine survey of the Kuiper Belt, cataloging potential mining sites for Earth's ever-expanding resource needs. Captain, I'm detecting multiple energy signatures approaching from beyond Neptune's orbit. Lieutenant Ramirez called from the sensor station, his voice tense. Configuration unknown. No match in our database. Maya straightened her uniform and moved to his station. How many? Initial count shows 17 vessels. Massive ones, Captain. The smallest is approximately 3 times our size. The bridge fell silent. In the 50 years since humanity had achieved practical interstellar travel, they had encountered only 3 other spacefaring species, all of them pre-FTL civilizations with limited range. Nothing like this. Full stop. Power to defensive systems. Open all communication channels. Maya ordered, her voice steady despite the adrenaline surging through her veins. And alert Earth Command immediately. Priority Alpha. The massive alien vessels continued their approach, moving with precision that spoke of advanced propulsion technology. Their design featured sweeping, angular lines that seemed to absorb rather than reflect light, making them appear as moving voids against the starfield. They're scanning us, Captain, the tactical officer reported. Our countermeasures are having no effect. They're cutting through our encryption like it's not even there. Maya's jaw tightened. The Horizon boasted Earth's most sophisticated electronic warfare suite. Whatever these aliens were, they were operating on an entirely different technological level. Incoming transmission, Lieutenant Ramirez announced. Visual and audio. On screen, Maya ordered, squaring her shoulders. The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a humanoid figure with iridescent blue skin and 4 arms. Its face featured 6 eyes arranged in a hexagonal pattern, all focused directly at the camera. When it spoke, its mouth didn't move. Instead, the words seemed to form directly in Maya's mind. Vessel of the planet Earth, I am Supreme Commander Xealer of the Galactic Imperium. Your system has been scheduled for incorporation into our domain. Resistance is unnecessary and would only result in avoidable casualties. Maya maintained her composure. This is Captain Maya Chen of the Earth Spaceship Horizon. You have entered sovereign human territory without permission. We are not interested in being incorporated into any Imperium. The alien's eyes blinked in sequence. Your species' sovereignty is not recognized by the Imperium. We have monitored your civilization for the past 30 of your years and have determined that you possess technologies of interest but lack the advancement to properly utilize them. We will provide guidance and structure in exchange for resources and allegiance. And if we decline, Maya asked, though she already suspected the answer, then we will take what we require by force. Your colonies on Mars and Europa will be the first to experience the consequences of defiance. You have 48 Earth hours to communicate with your leadership and prepare for our arrival. Detailed surrender protocols will follow. The transmission ended abruptly, leaving the bridge in silence. Status of the emergency transmission to Earth? Maya asked. Confirmed received, Captain. They're requesting our immediate return. Maya nodded grimly. Plot a course. Maximum burn. The Global Defense Council chamber beneath Geneva was packed to capacity. Representatives from every nation, colony, and space station had gathered, their faces grim as Admiral William Costa presented the situation. The alien fleet has established orbit around Neptune. Their technology appears to be at least 2 centuries beyond our current capabilities, at least our public capabilities. He paused, looking directly at Secretary General Amara Okafor. Madam Secretary, perhaps it's time we discussed the Prometheus Directive. A murmur ran through the assembled leaders. The Prometheus Directive was little more than a rumor to most, a supposedly classified program that even many high-ranking officials knew nothing about. Okafor's expression remained impassive as she surveyed the room. Clear the chamber of all personnel below clearance level Omega. Nearly two-thirds of the attendees filed out, leaving only the highest-ranking military and civilian leaders. Captain Maya Chen remained, her presence requested specifically by Admiral Costa. When the massive doors sealed shut, Okafor nodded to a thin, bespectacled man seated in the shadows. "Dr. Nakamura, please brief the council." Dr. Hiroshi Nakamura stepped forward, activating a holographic display in the center of the chamber. 27 years ago, our researchers at the Ceres Deep Space Laboratory made a discovery that we've kept classified at the highest levels. We found that quantum fields can be manipulated to create localized distortions in space-time that effectively render conventional weapons useless. The hologram showed a series of tests where energy beams and projectiles simply curved around their targets or dissipated harmlessly. Project Prometheus has developed this technology into a comprehensive defense system. Nakamura continued. We have also created offensive capabilities that operate on similar principles. Admiral Costa took over. We've secretly integrated these systems into key locations throughout the solar system: Earth, Mars, Luna, Europa, and our major asteroid bases. We've also equipped 7 prototype vessels with limited versions of this technology. Why haven't we been informed? Demanded the representative from Mars Colony. Because the technology fundamentally changes the balance of power, Okafor replied. We needed to ensure its security and proper implementation before revealing its existence. Maya stepped forward. With respect, Madam Secretary, how does this help us against the Solarian Imperium? Even with advanced technology, we're outnumbered and outgunned. Dr. Nakamura smiled for the first time. That's the beauty of it, Captain. Their scans show them exactly what we want them to see: a modestly advanced civilization with conventional defensive capabilities. They have no idea what they're actually facing. Okafor nodded. Our analysts believe the Imperium conquers through intimidation and targeted strikes. They expect minimal resistance. We're going to show them how humanity responds to threats. Admiral Costa brought up tactical displays. We're not going to just defend ourselves. We're going to make them regret ever entering our system. Maya studied the plans with growing amazement. This is audacious. Humanity didn't come this far by playing it safe, Okafor replied. The Solarians think they're dealing with a simple pre-expansion civilization. Let's show them what happens when you underestimate humans. As the 48-hour deadline approached, Earth appeared to be preparing for surrender. Communications between colonies increased. Seemingly panicked messages were transmitted on easily intercepted channels, and several civilian ships attempted to flee the system only to be turned back by the Horizon and other patrol vessels. Maya stood on the bridge of the Horizon, now positioned as part of a small diplomatic flotilla approaching the Solarian command ship. Her vessel had undergone significant modifications in the Jupiter shipyards, though none were visible externally. Solarian command vessel, this is Captain Maya Chen of the ESS Horizon. I come as Earth's representative to discuss terms. The response was immediate. Approach on these coordinates. Any deviation will be considered hostile action. Maya exchanged glances with her first officer, Commander Alvarez, right into the lion's den. The Horizon maneuvered carefully toward the designated position, a mere 1,000 kilometers from the massive Solarian flagship. At close range, the alien vessel was even more impressive. A 12-kilometer behemoth bristling with weapon emplacements and sensor arrays. Captain, they're scanning us again, Ramirez reported. Much more intensively this time. Let them look, Maya replied calmly. Everything is proceeding according to plan. The view screen activated without warning, displaying Supreme Commander Xilar once again. Your vessel will be brought aboard our ship. Prepare to be tractored into Docking Bay 7. Maya feigned alarm. We had expected to conduct negotiations remotely. Your expectations are irrelevant. Prepare for boarding. As the transmission ended, Maya smiled. Right on schedule. All hands, initiate Prometheus protocols. Throughout the solar system, hidden installations hummed to life. On Earth, massive underground complexes activated defense systems that had never been used outside of testing. On Mars, colonists moved to secure bunkers as disguised defense platforms rose from the regolith. In the asteroid belt, mining ships transformed, revealing weapons systems that had been hidden in plain sight for years. And aboard the Horizon, quantum field generators powered up, creating an invisible bubble of altered reality around the ship. "They've locked a tractor beam on us," Ramirez reported, barely containing his excitement. "Let them pull us in," Maya ordered, "and prepare the package." As the massive tractor beam engaged, attempting to pull the Horizon toward the Xelarian vessel, something unexpected happened. Instead of moving toward the alien ship, the Horizon remained perfectly stationary. The confused Xelarians increased power to their tractor beam, the energy output visible as a distortion in space. "Now," Maya ordered. Commander Alvarez pressed a sequence on his console, and the Horizon's quantum field generators reversed polarity. The massive energy of the Xelarian tractor beam suddenly reflected back on itself, amplified tenfold. The feedback surge ripped through the alien vessel's systems, causing cascading power failures visible as waves of darkness sweeping across its hull. "Open a channel," Maya ordered, her voice calm despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. The stunned face of Supreme Commander Xelar appeared on screen, illuminated by emergency lighting. "Let me be clear," Maya said, allowing herself a small smile. "We declined your offer. This was just a demonstration of why you should reconsider your approach. Earth is not defenseless, and we are not interested in surrendering." For the first time, Xelar's composure cracked. "What technology is this? Our scans detected nothing that cold." "Perhaps your scans aren't as comprehensive as you thought," Maya interrupted. "You should check your long-range sensors. You might find the situation throughout our system has changed." As if on cue, explosions blossomed across 3 Xelarian vessels positioned near Mars, where they had been preparing for the first wave of their invasion. Earth's hidden defenses had struck with devastating precision. "This is impossible," Xelar muttered, more to himself than to Maya. "No," Maya replied. "This is humanity. We've been preparing for this day since we first looked to the stars. You came to conquer. We've been ready to defend. The question now is, how many of your ships are you willing to lose before you reconsider your incorporation plans?" Turning the tide. Supreme Commander Xelar's 6 eyes narrowed as he studied the human captain on his view screen. The Galactic Empire had subjugated 17 species across 3 galactic sectors, and none had offered resistance like this. It was unprecedented. "Your defiance is noted, Captain Chen," he said finally. "But do not mistake a momentary tactical advantage for victory. The Imperium's resources are vast beyond your comprehension." Maya maintained her steady gaze. "We don't doubt your resources, Commander. We question your resolve. Your empire expands by intimidating weaker species. We're giving you the opportunity to withdraw with minimal casualties and establish diplomatic relations instead." "Diplomacy is reserved for equals," Xelar responded coldly. "You have merely proven yourselves to be more troublesome prey." The transmission cut abruptly. Maya turned to her crew. "They'll regroup and adapt. Get me Earth Command." Secretary General Okafor appeared on screen almost immediately. "Well done, Captain. The first phase worked perfectly." "They're not retreating," Maya cautioned. "If anything, we've wounded their pride. They'll escalate." Admiral Costa appeared beside Okafor. "We're counting on it. Return to Earth at maximum speed. We're implementing Phase 2. True to Maya's prediction, the Xelarian response was swift and brutal. 3 battle cruisers broke formation and accelerated toward Mars, bypassing the orbital defenses and targeting the Meridian Valley colony directly. Energy weapons lashed out, carving molten trenches into the Martian surface and vaporizing the outskirts of the settlement. On Earth, the Defense Council watched the attack through satellite feeds. Many faces showed horror, but Admiral Costa remained impassive. "The colonists are safe in the underground shelters," he assured the Council. "The Xelarians are destroying empty buildings. They're sending a message," Maya observed from her position near the tactical display. She had returned to Earth just hours earlier, demonstrating their willingness to target civilians, while revealing their tactical approach. Costa added, "Notice how they're avoiding direct confrontation with our defensive platforms. They're adapting, trying to find vulnerabilities." Dr. Nakamura studied the data streams. "They're also scanning extensively, trying to understand our quantum technology, which gives us our opening." Okafor concluded. "Initiate Phase 2. Across the solar system, Earth's defense posture suddenly changed. The orbital platforms around Mars went dark, their quantum fields collapsing. The defensive grid around Earth flickered and destabilized. To all appearances, the human defense network was experiencing catastrophic failure. The Xelarian fleet immediately redeployed, spreading out to target key infrastructure across the system. Their initial caution gave way to aggressive advance as they detected the apparent collapse of Earth's mysterious defenses. Supreme Commander Xelar addressed his fleet commanders from the bridge of his flagship. "The humans overextended their capabilities. Their technology is powerful but unstable. Press the advantage and secure their major colonies. We will accept nothing less than unconditional surrender." The massive alien vessels accelerated toward Earth, Mars, and the major space stations in the asteroid belt. Energy weapons prepared to fire, targeting military installations and population centers. But as they entered optimal firing range, something unexpected happened. Instead of finding defenseless targets, the Xelarian sensors suddenly detected thousands of small objects swarming from hidden locations throughout the system. These objects, each no larger than a terrestrial automobile, moved with impossible speed and precision. Defensive countermeasures, Xelar ordered as the swarm approached his vessels. "Target and destroy." The Xelarian ships fired energy weapons at the approaching objects, but the beams passed harmlessly through them. When the swarm reached the alien vessels, they didn't impact. They phased directly through the hulls. Inside the Xelarian ships, critical systems began failing one after another. Weapons went offline. Propulsion sputtered and died. Life support systems flickered. "Quantum drones," Dr. Nakamura explained to the Defense Council on Earth, watching the operation unfold. "They exist partially in normal space and partially in quantum space, allowing them to bypass conventional defenses and disrupt electronic systems." Maya watched in amazement as the mighty Xelarian fleet drifted powerless. "How long will the effect last?" "Only about 30 minutes, Nakamura replied. "But that's all we need for Phase 3. As the Xelarian crews struggled to restore their ship systems, they received simultaneous transmissions on all frequencies. The message was simple, a continuous loop of humans laughing. From the smallest mining vessels to massive colony ships, from space stations to ground installations, the sound of human laughter flooded the Xelarian communication systems. It was psychological warfare at its most basic and effective level, the sound of a species utterly unintimidated by the might of the Imperium. On the bridge of his flagship, Xelar struggled to maintain control as his officers frantically worked to restore power. "Block that transmission," he ordered. "We cannot, Commander," his communications officer replied. "It's embedded in our systems, and they've accessed our historical databases." On every screen throughout the Xelarian fleet, images began to play, records of Earth's history. But not the diplomatic meetings or scientific achievements the aliens had studied before their arrival. These were images of warfare, humans fighting against overwhelming odds. Ancient battles where vastly outnumbered forces defeated powerful empires. Modern conflicts where guerrilla tactics overcame superior firepower. And interspersed with these images were scientific simulations showing humans surviving planetary disasters. adapting to impossible environments, and overcoming extinction-level threats through sheer determination and ingenuity. The psychological impact was devastating. The Xelarians had expected to find a young, easily cowed species. Instead, they faced a civilization that had been forged in constant conflict and adaptation, one that viewed existential threats as challenges to overcome rather than reasons to surrender. As the Xelarian fleet drifted powerless, 7 Earth vessels emerged from the shadow of Luna. Unlike the patrol ships and defensive platforms the aliens had encountered thus far, these were true warships, the vanguard of humanity's secret defense fleet. The lead vessel, the ESS Prometheus, dwarfed even the horizon. Its hull gleamed with an otherworldly sheen, the result of quantum-infused alloys that existed simultaneously in multiple states of matter. Captain Maya Chen stood on its bridge, having transferred command from the horizon for this critical phase. Xelarian flagship, this is Captain Chen of the Earth defense ship Prometheus. Your fleet is disabled, your tactical position untenable. We could destroy your vessels now, but we prefer another solution. On the Xelarian flagship, power was finally returning to critical systems. Supreme Commander Xalar stared at the human vessels with a mixture of rage and newfound respect. You deceived us, he accused. We defended ourselves, Maya corrected. There's a difference. Your intelligence on Earth was incomplete. We've been preparing for contact with advanced civilizations for decades, both peaceful and otherwise. Xalar's expression was unreadable to human eyes. What do you propose? A genuine diplomatic exchange, not as conqueror and subject, but as civilizations with different strengths and perspectives. We have technologies you haven't encountered before. You have knowledge of the wider galaxy we lack. There's potential for mutual benefit. The Imperium does not form alliances with lesser species. Maya smiled. I think we've demonstrated that lesser is a matter of perspective. Consider the alternative. You return to your empire, having failed to subjugate a primitive species. How would that affect your standing? Xalar was silent for a long moment. You understand political leverage. Impressive. Humans understand conflict and cooperation in equal measure, Maya replied. We prefer the latter but excel